All right, climbing Mount McKinley in Alaska is a challenge. It is the highest peak in North America at over 20,000 feet. Boy, is that beautiful and remarkable. And by the way, it's one of the coldest in the world. An even greater challenge if you're an amputee. But that hasn't stopped my next guest from setting out to climb the mountain together. Joining us live from Anchorage, Alaska, 5 wounded veterans. They head to base camp tomorrow to begin their climb up Mount McKinley, which is also called Denali. Kirk Bauer, Neil Duncan, Steve Martin, Dave Borden, and Jesse Acosta. Gentlemen, great to see all of you.
Thank you, Frederica.
Thank you.
Great to be here.
Fantastic. Kurt, let me begin with you. Last time we spoke, you were in Breckenridge. You were just simply unstoppable. It's like one adventure after the next. So all of you make up the first team of amputees trying to scale Denali in Alaska together. So why, and what's going to be the greatest challenge about this peak?
Well, actually, Frederica, there's a number of challenges that we're training for. One of them, of course, is the prostheses themselves. They're made of plastic and metal in very, very cold weather. The carbon fiber, the plastic may crack. That does a lot of work, a lot of pressure on our residual limb. Exertion-wise, people like Steve Martin here, a double amputee, they'll spend as much as 200% more energy climbing this mountain as a non-disabled person. So we actually have to be in better shape than the regular climbers to try to meet this challenge. So there's a lot of challenges, but we think that we've prepared for it and we're ready to go.
Oh my goodness. And you know, Kirk, this is not a first for you guys doing these incredible climbs. You actually led a team of all amputees back in 2010 on a climb of Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa. So how do you suppose this is going to compare? Conditions very, very different.
Well, the Kilimanjaro climb with Neil Duncan and myself and another wounded warrior it was really a tough climb, but this has been described as Kilimanjaro is the pussycat and Denali is the tiger. So we know that with the ice and the snow and the crevasses that this is going to be a much, much tougher challenge for us. But the whole purpose really is to try to inspire and motivate the severely wounded that are coming back from Afghanistan, to let them know, give them a message of hope that no matter what has happened to them, injury-wise, they will be able to come back and lead an active life through sports. And I think we all feel that sports has really played an important part in turning around our lives and getting us back on the road to recovery.
Wow. And Neil, you can either get the credit or the blame for this, right? Wasn't this your idea of, taking on Denali? How in the world did this come about and why?
Well, the whole seed was planted just a couple years ago when I made an attempt at Kilimanjaro and we weren't successful. And so I came back frustrated with the situation, realized that it was all about planning, and it makes a lot of sense. So planning for the injuries that are, of the guys that are on the team, planning for contingencies and so on and so forth. So we parlayed that into a successful summit of Kilimanjaro. And then Kirk and I were talking about Denali and realized, this is something that, again, if it's planned correctly, if we have the right contingencies, anybody can tackle this mountain.
Wow. And so, Steve, to you, this isn't just a personal challenge, even though, Kirk was pointing out you're going to have to be, 200% in better shape than anybody else, given the prosthetics and the equipment that you're dealing with. But this challenge really does symbolize the challenges of other wounded warriors, their families, and others with disabilities as well, right?
It is. After I was injured, trying to get back to what I consider a normal life, it just, I think I set the bar too low. Then when I met Kirk and got involved with Disabled Sports USA and Warfighter Sports, it helped me raise the bar to try to go out and do things that were more challenging than our bigger challenges I was putting on myself. Being involved in going out and doing the Baton Death March with Warfighter Sports and trying to, like Kirk said earlier, motivate and inspire people to get off the couch, to accept their injuries, accept what's happened, and move on, move forward, and just not sit there and feel sad and upset. Get your families involved. Go out and do as much as you can and not set the bar too low. We're going to go out and, this team of 5 guys, we're going to go out and show the other wounded warriors coming back, we're going to conquer this mountain.
This is a very high bar, you know, and, you know, Dave, you know, if Kirk was talking about Kilimanjaro being the pussycat, you know, Denali really being the tiger, let's talk about the conditions that you are going to be encountering. We're talking about glaciers. They're separated by razor edge ridges and massive granite rock, and there's going to be fierce wind. How have you prepared yourself, and what kind of equipment do you have to kind of maintain the stability that you're going to need and the endurance to deal with these kind of conditions?
We are going to face numerous obstacles throughout this climb. Each of us have different equipment, our prosthetics, whether we're above the knee or below the knee or bilateral. It's going to be a team effort. We're going to be very patient and just take each obstacle as they come to us.
Wow. And Jesse, your greatest fear or worry, or perhaps the thing that inspires you the most about taking on this peak?
I think we all each have individual fears. We're not, of course, letting one another know them, but you know, I think.
You know, Dave's, but
I think, you know, for me, it's, you know, as you start to get to know one another, the emotional bond and really what we're trying to do, what we're trying to attempt, with respect to showing others that this can be done. It's really inspiring for us as individuals and as a team. So I think the greatest fear personally is that, you know, all this training, all this preparation, that which you can't control, be it an obstacle like Dave mentioned, or some type of unforeseen, uncontrollable event, you know, prevents one or some of us from not making it. I think that's my own personal fear. And the hope is, you know, we always try to minimize and just forget about that which you can't control and try to maximize that which you can in hopes of making it. But, you know, we'll see. I think at the end of the day, we're all veterans. There's not a lot that we do fear.
Wow. Well, incredible. You are all an incredible inspiration. You're giving yourself 20 days, or it may take more. It doesn't really matter. You're going to pace yourselves as best you can. Thanks so much to all of you. Best of luck as you begin that climb. Make it to that base camp tomorrow. Jesse Acosta, Dave Borden, Steve Martin, Neil Duncan, Kirk Bauer. Thanks to all of you, and all the best on your mission.
Thank you, Frederica.
We want to hear the progress report when you get back. Go ahead.
Okay, we'll be reporting it to you, and people can watch it can follow it on warfightersports.org, Frederica, and we'll be sending information constantly down the mountain about our climb. So we hope that your listeners and your viewers will take a look at warfightersports.org and follow our progress.
Fantastic. And this is a fundraiser for people can make their donations to the Warfighter Sports program. You all are doing an incredible job. Excellent. And of course, here's some more information for those of you at home. If you do want to donate, visit my blog at cnn.com and follow the link to their website and learn more about what these extraordinary gentlemen are about to do and all that they've already done.